All right, guys, how you doing? Welcome back to another TST video. The soccer tournament is very, very close. In fact, as we're recording this, 1 week from today, we're going to be flying on an aeroplane to North Carolina, Raleigh, to be precise, for the tournament that's taking place in Cary, which is down the road, and we're going to hopefully be securing $1 million. Today's another chance for us to talk about it, prepare for it, think about everything we know about the tournament. And with me to do that today is, of course, Mr. PK Humble and the man who's been given the task of trying to win hashtag $1 million. I don't envy him. It's a difficult task. The manager, Jay Devereaux. We've got lots to get through, guys. We need to unpack whether we're going to win $1 million. What do we think? How do we feel? PK, you've had a training session now.
Yeah.
You've talked about it on the podcast and things like that. You understand, I think, the rules. You confident?
I get the rules. I just got to make sure I don't come on too early, because I was doing that because when you come on, if the player ain't off yet, you get a red card.
Yeah, it's mad, isn't it? I mean, it's not a red card in the traditional sense, because someone else can come on instead of you, but you'd be out of that game. And I think the game after.
And you get suspended, yeah.
Imagine that getting suspended and missing a game because you came on the pitch too early.
I got 8 red cards in the training session.
Well, you've actually got the worst discipline record ever in the history of hashtag for one season as well.
Come
on. It's a record no one wanted. There's loads of other rules to talk about as well, of course. But yeah, this video is all about the prep. Make sure you drop a like on the video if you enjoy it. Subscribe for more. One other thing I want to let you know as well, they've just announced from the TST headquarters that they've signed a deal with Peacock in the States. So they're going to be broadcasting over there in America. That's part of NBC, of course. But in the rest of the world, it's going to be live streamed on YouTube, on the Goal channel. But more importantly, on Hashtag's channel, we're going to have our own game. So you haven't got to go anywhere else to see Hashtag play. You can watch us live on this very channel. So we're also going to find out a bit more about who else is joining the squad for this trip as well, because there's a few additional names. We've already released the squad. You guys have probably seen it. The goalkeeper, Alexis Andre, who's been playing in the National League Prem this year, and he's going to be joining us. I've also got Jacko joining us as well, 2 goalkeepers that are going to be helping us over there. And of course, Jack Downer, Street Panner, if you're not familiar, the world champion. You were at training when he came down, weren't you?
Yeah, I've worked with him before as well.
Of course.
Yeah.
You know what he's capable of.
Crazy.
He could be a good addition.
I'm scared for the people at TST.
I am as well, but do you think they're scared of us? That's my first question to you guys. Where do you rank us in the overall conversation, Devs? Like, we've seen a lot more from other teams now, haven't we, about their squads and their preparations?
It's all unknown, isn't it? I mean, I've been watching some of these Untagged, and we've got this player playing for us, this PK Humble, and
character.
Honestly, he sounds unbelievable.
Based on what he says?
I cannot wait to watch him play, because I've been working with Percy Kiangabeni all season.
And what do you think of him?
Well, this PK Humble sounds better.
That's going to be on my
Did I get your name right?
Yeah, PK Humble's right.
No, your real name.
Oh, Percy Kiangabeni. Yeah, you always say it right.
I thought so.
Have you seen the TST website on PK Humble?
Was there a bit about you, is there?
Yeah.
What does it say?
X hashtag and ex Manchester City player.
X hashtag?
Oh, no, not X, sorry.
Newsflash.
Yeah, it does. I updated it.
You updated it?
Yeah.
You took it off?
No.
Well, Manchester
I put
City.
the X in.
Oh, no. Oh, wow.
Does that mean on your form you filled out, you said you played for Man City?
Yeah.
And they've just gone with it?
They've gone with it.
They don't do their fact checking over there.
So now everyone's scared. They think I was playing under Pep Guardiola.
That's where you learned it all.
No, I learned it from the gaffer. I learned it all from the
on
gaffer.
that, how do you, because every player has a different opinion, don't they, on like how they cope with different versions of football. Like, how do you feel about yourself as a 7-a-side player?
I play all black pre-season. I always play 7s.
But you're going to start talking about cage football, aren't you?
Yeah.
You're not playing in a cage.
No.
It is cage
All I'm
football.
hearing is you and they think, oh, you play cage football.
But
this is not in a cage.
That's
grass.
cage football. But cage football is not cage football.
Is a pitch.
No, but when I play cage, so listen to the rules I play when we play cage football.
Okay,
You're not allowed
'cause
to.
none of these
you're
can
not
be
allowed.
relevant.
You're not allowed to let the ball go out of play. So someone can come and put pressure on me. I'm not allowed to shield the ball out of play. So I'm always keeping the ball in play. It's not like bouncing off the walls and stuff.
Yeah.
And then obviously you can't go back to keeper. Like you have, so I'm being made to play under pressure. I don't know what rules AT plays, but the cage that we play is everything stays in, and you can't go overhead high. So everything's
but those
low.
rules are different to TST. Though,
Yeah,
aren't
they're
they?
And
rules
is it
different
different from cage to cage? Do you like go to
different cage?
You go to another cage and it's like a different
different
atmosphere.
rule, different atmosphere, different concrete. Because
Like
concrete
Boca River Plate type vibe.
Yeah, it's not every football stadium's not the same.
That's correct.
So every cage is not the same. But it's obviously different rules to TST, but we're still playing essentially 7-a-side, or like 7-a-side, 5-a-side.
With completely different rules.
With completely different rules. But the tempo is similar.
Yeah. And the decision making as well, like, because you've got a tighter pitch. But then again, I reckon the pitches you play on in cage football are smaller than the TST pitches, aren't they?
Yeah.
They're quite big.
So that works in our advantage.
And the goals the same size?
Nah.
Goals are smaller.
Goals are every cage got different games.
This is
completely different game, basically. Yeah.
Nah, it's playing under pressure.
It's
It's playing under pressure. That's the only good thing. Right. I'm basically saying we're playing under immense pressure. So in that space, I shouldn't lose the ball.
We'll quote you on that.
Okay.
But yeah, Devs, before we go on further about TST, I want to ask you.
Filming training, sorry.
Did you get
did you get my goal?
You go, get your goal.
Yeah, you got my goal. They got my goal in it. Yeah.
You don't want to be going 1v1 against Jermaine though, do you?
Nah, no chance. No one does in TST.
Who do you think? So I've asked Devs this question, but who do you think from our squad is best equipped for TST?
1v1?
Or just for TST rules in general?
Jermaine. I think he's the fittest in the team. And he's like the most like agile and electric.
Yeah.
So I feel like even like the 1v1 situations, I don't see him getting tired.
No.
I don't see him getting tired.
We never have really,
He's
ever.
Jack in the box, isn't he?
Yeah.
Jermaine
Can't sit still.
Before we go on more about TST, Devs, obviously we've watched, I'm sure you've watched a lot of the Untagged episodes and seen PK, and obviously you've been managing him all year, you've seen him in the changing room, but have you got any thoughts or comments on his things he's been saying in here? I think you might have come up in conversation a few times.
Well, as I said earlier, I'm looking forward to seeing him play.
Yeah, speaks a good game.
Two different people.
No, I'm confident.
Oh yeah,
I'm confident.
Are you confident? Because when you did the TST Uncaged episode, Uncaged, that's what we could call TST. Actually, when we did the TST Untagged episode, you found out about not being able to do slide tackles for the first time.
Yeah, that upset me.
That you do slides in the cage football then?
Nah, you don't do slides in the cage because obviously that will leave you with 9-degree burns. But like you do standing tackles. Nah, actually, no, you sometimes slide.
9 degrees. 3 times worse than 3rd degree burns. Really bad.
Yeah, you're finished. Even sliding on the Astro, Len Salomon Stadium, that's
6 degrees.
Yeah, 6 degrees. 6-5 on a cold day.
Oh, right.
But yeah, there's no sliding. Because it's grass. Like when I'm on grass, I just want to slide for no reason. Like I just get the urge to slide.
Especially if it's nice wet.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is grass pitches out there.
Like a kid at a wedding.
Yeah.
But one thing I do want to mention, because I actually had the benefit of going to this actual exact place we were going to last year when I was doing this baseball project. And it was not even in June, it was in April when I went. And it was so hot. It was in the 30s every single day, Celsius. And there was a couple big flash floods out there, which I think we've got a warning. We could have something similar whilst we're in TST. But we're expecting like 30 degrees heat for our games. First game we play, and we know who we're playing. We know the groups. We're going to talk all about it in this video. Is at midday.
Yeah, should be all right, shouldn't it?
The heat. Yeah, how are you going to cope with that?
Well, I don't know. I've been reading the rules, and just for the benches, the stuff. There's a rule, no hats.
Is that a rule? No hats
on the bench.
Me and Keith are in big trouble.
Get the suntan lotion on.
Big trouble.
Big time. They say no umbrellas. We could have an umbrella.
We might now.
Little Steve McLaren jobby.
Yeah, that's a good shout.
But yeah, have you had much experience playing in those sort of temperatures?
Yeah, Berry.
Very.
Well,
you didn't play that long at Bury, did you? Got sent off.
That's his excuse. He was hot.
Yeah. I'm not a fan. I'm not the fan of the heat. I feel like my game's obviously my game's going to be what the gaffer tells me to make it, but I would really like to be the deep lying playmaker in this kind of situation, in that heat.
Based on
That's a
not based
shame.
on your skills, based on the heat alone.
Both, a bit of both.
But don't you wear gloves because you don't like the cold?
Yeah, but I
So
don't.
what is your kind of optimum temperature then?
Mild.
Like
Not
15 degrees sort of thing. 15,
20 with a bit of wind, with a little just
A light breeze.
light breeze.
So it's
And
a
that's
fair
it.
weather player, basically.
Yeah. I'm fair weather, fair trade, everything fair. That's what I believe in. I'm a big advocate for fairness.
Good to know. Good to know. Let's hope you don't. Well, even though you've got the worst discipline record in the history of hashtag. If you don't know about TST, guys, hopefully you've seen some of the videos we've already made about it. And it's not just the videos on our channel. There's some great stuff going on TST platforms. Loads of the other teams taking part. But let me give you a quick recap. So it's a 32-team tournament. It's exactly like a World Cup. You've got 8 groups of 4 teams. Only 2 teams from each group make it out the groups. Then it's straight up knockout football from there. The big twist, though, is the winning team gets $1 million. Second place gets nothing. It's very cruel. And yeah, it's obviously for us, $1 million would be a game changer. It's taking place in Cary, North Carolina between the 1st and the 4th of June. Get those dates in your diary. We play 2 games on the 1st, our first 2 group games. Then we play our 3rd group game in the morning or the midday again, I think, on the 2nd day. That could be our last game. If we get knocked out, we'll be done after 3 games. If not, we'll play our first knockout game later that day, which means we'd have played 4 games in 2 days. Then we'd have up to 2 more knockouts the next day. If we're still in the tournament then, it means we've made the final, which is on the 4th of June, just 1 game that day for $1 million. And crucially, the format of this tournament, and there's lots of clever little rules they've added in there, means that every game ends on a goal, which also means that there will be $1 million goal scored. Someone, could be you, PK, will score a goal worth $1 million. They always talk about the playoff final in England, the championship being the biggest game in football, £100 million, but it doesn't end on a goal necessarily. It ends on a full-time whistle. These games are going to have that moment. It's so American, but I love it, I have to say. 2 20-minute halves. We've been doing training. Obviously, you guys have seen some of it in these episodes. It's relentless, right?
Yeah, it's brutal. I think, obviously, it is a lot milder over here for us at the moment, and we're training for an evening. I think the pace we've been training at probably won't be sustainable, and that's something that we've got to work on. And we're training later tonight, and we'll look at that, because I think the teams that, and this is where the real kind of, we've got ex-World Cup winners, that level, that elite player. They'll be able to keep the ball for fun. It's about getting the right balance for us, because we won't necessarily have the quality of the other teams, but I expect us to have more energy.
How does that feel as a player for you, PK? Because, we're going to talk about some of the teams and some of the players taking part, and it literally is from the very top of the game in terms of, World Cup winners, Champions League winners, multiple league winners across the world, high-level professionals, but those guys that come under that category are at least 1 year retired, in some cases 10-year retired. We're an active football team, albeit what this season's been the 8th tier of men's football in England. So I don't think I'm doing anyone a disservice when I say we aren't the best talented footballers going, but we have something different, don't we? We have the fact that we're a team, the fact that we're hopefully in good condition, and I think personally, as someone who runs the club, the fact that money is going to literally change a club's fortunes and the fans' fortunes, all the things associated with the club, rather than, just going in someone's pocket and then never hearing of that team again, which could well happen with some of these teams that have been created for TST. So how do you feel of all those things combined as a player?
I feel like we're going to have like a different kind of motivation and a different kind of drive than any other team in the tournament. But obviously, if that can resonate and come to fruitions and make us win, that's another kind of conversation. But I feel like everyone's so up for it. And the fact that we've been training on the dimension of the pitch, I don't think anyone else is doing that. And like, we're actually...
They should be. I mean, it's stupid if they're not.
But I don't know, maybe because like people are from different places and they're just getting makeshift guys and putting them all together, it might not even... It probably won't work.
Yeah, I don't know. There's going to be guys out there who have played in these, bigger kind of situations than this. I think we come from it from a point of, we're really privileged to be there for a team at the level that we're at, and the players, the level that they've been used to playing at, and what the opportunities they'd normally get. This is far beyond anything you would get from that.
And we're going to have a lot of people there watching. A lot of tickets are sold out already in a nice arena where the games are taking place. I think for me, it's got to be, you guys have really got to look at this, like exactly what Dev says, as an unbelievable opportunity to be involved in ultimately a top level football tournament. Even though it is your off season, mentally we've got to make sure all our players are just absolutely in that mindset of come here to win. Because I definitely believe there'll be players in other teams that don't have that mindset. The nature of this tournament is that you have to buy a spot to be in it, right? So it's like a poker game. So teams, some of the players even, will be financially out of pocket for being there, right? And it's not just buying your spot in the tournament, that's also paying for your flights and your hotel and all the other costs that come alongside it. So I don't think there's any reason why most players won't come like as aggressive and as competitive as anything you've ever played in, because think of the most competitive games you've ever played in. Even take it back to like the game against Sudbury we had this year in the league, which was such an important game. It wasn't $1 million on the line, nowhere near. And we're not talking about Man City winning Champions League and Man City getting whatever they get for winning the Champions League. We're talking about the players in most cases sometimes picking up that paycheck if they've been the ones that have paid for the spot. So they're really motivated. So we've got to make sure we match it.
But it's fascinating, isn't it? Because that motivation can work for you or against you,
100%.
depending on how it's channeled. You know, you look at those that are, if you say less motivated, for want of a better phrase, it might make it easier for them because they're just playing, you know, the game rather than the situation and the prize. So I think it's so exciting to be part of. You know, the first one, and we're going into it with a bit of an idea, but really not knowing what it's going to be.
No, it's going to be some amazing surprises. I think we've got 40 odd games the first 2 days,
and I think it would be surprising if a team stacked with big names wins it.
Yeah, I agree.
I think it's going to be, you know,
an underdog.
Joking with you about the cage football stuff, but these kind of there's going to be, you know, an element of street football out there that
the futsal players
is going to be that could just be mind blowing.
There's a couple of teams I've got my eyes on that have gone out and recruited really interestingly, not necessarily names like you say, but players that just understand the format and have played so many games of football at this sort of style. So with that in mind, if you didn't see the video when we released our squad, we'll put it on the screen now. You can see who we're taking. It is ultimately mostly a combination of first team men's footballers from our 11-a-side season, with a few special guests in there. Obviously Jacko, so James Philp wasn't available in goal, so we've gone with Alexis Andre, who's playing National League goalkeeper, played against Wrexham, Notts County, etc. this year for Maidenhead. And along with Jacko, we called him back in, so our 2 goalkeepers. And then we've got, as we mentioned, Jack down at AK Street Panna, Farai Singano as well, back in the mix as well. He hasn't played for us this year, but he's obviously a legend at the club. And then it's a load of guys that basically played for us this season. And then other rules we haven't mentioned yet. There's no throw-ins, it's kick-ins. There's no offsides. Keeper can't just lob it up the pitch. You know, he's got to bounce a certain amount of times. Roll-on, roll-off subs, as you mentioned, have got to be done the right way. You can't just run on, or else you will get penalised. How have you found the boys adjusted to the rules during training sessions?
I think the single biggest challenge has been the substitutions.
Yeah,
because they're so keen to come on the pitch. You're saying to them, no, you'll be set. So the player coming. So there's an area in which subs have to come on from.
Yeah,
which I'm assuming will be like halfway line. There's like,
but that is a normal rule in 11-a-side football too.
Yeah, kind of. But you're doing it through an official, aren't you? You know, and it's slow.
Do you think there'll be an official?
But the game, there will be to monitor it. But the game stops.
Yeah.
11-a-side, doesn't it, for a substitution?
Okay, so
it's not going to stop.
Got it.
The game's still playing. So, but the player coming off the pitch, both feet have to be off the pitch.
A bit like hockey, isn't it?
Before
NHL?
You can step on, and you know, word is they're going to be really strict on it. So,
I'll be interested to see how strict, because if there's a lot of teams making mistakes in those first few games, are they literally going to start dishing out red cards? I think they probably will, because of the fact it's not really a red card. You know, it means someone else can come on,
but
it does.
It suspends them for the next game, so it's. Yeah,
but it does, and then you get.
I don't know. Is it going to be? It's a bit like when you watch the World Cups and they have a thing they focus on, and it was penalties, fouls from set pieces, wasn't it, in the World Cup before last, and all of a sudden there was like hundreds of penalties being given. And
but you can see why, if the game doesn't stop and we're about to go through on goal, and some guy just joins our attack because he runs on the pitch halfway through, like
going mad.
You can't do that. So it makes sense, but we've got to get a head around it. The big one though, of course, is TST. So the tournament's called TST, the soccer tournament. But at the end of every game, we go into target score time, which means every game ends on a goal, which means if you're winning at the end of regulation 40-minute match, you still got to crack on and play on. You just might be 4-1 up, and that means you've only got to score 1 goal because the target score time is 5. The other team have got to score 4 goals. So there's a bit of maths to do. You can still do substitutions within target score time. You can still
do substitutions within that. And that's interesting. We've been looking at it. We're trying to mock, target score time.
Yeah.
And the approach to it will be quite interesting from teams, because the fact you've still got to score. We practiced it last week, and the team that were winning sat back because they didn't feel, because they only had to score 1. And it was interesting because the more the players came off and it whittled down, it then becomes more difficult and more of a basketball game. And the fact is, every 5 minutes is a long time. You think 20-minute halves, we're almost going to go. You could go a full length game again on top of that.
You could, yes.
Scary.
Every 5 minutes in target score time, there isn't a goal, or there isn't the deciding goal. You lose a player.
Yeah.
So, have you been involved in one of these sort of scenarios yet? And how late in the process would you like to come off? Do you want it because someone theoretically could be 1v1 at the end of a game?
Yeah.
Would you back yourself in that situation?
Yeah, but I'd have to come off early. My thing is probably take me off early if they don't finish it, and then let me come back on and try and finish it.
Once you get to 1v1, obviously you can't do a sub then. I mean, you could theoretically, but you'd be leaving an open goal.
Yeah, if the ball's out. But if we get to 1v1, what they do around? You're just going to be dribbling the ball on
Do
from
you
a
leave
throw
the
in.
do you leave the keeper?
What's the
in?
goalkeeper do?
At what point do you take the keeper out?
And do they
I feel like on the
one
2v, I feel like from the 2v2, the keeper needs to be coming to like the halfway line.
I'll be amazed if any games get to
2v2.
Because that means they've played like another half an hour
Yeah.
of TST.
And it's
Surely at least one's gonna get to.
I hope they've allowed enough
brutal.
time in the schedule for that. I mean,
And
they've allowed a little bit of time.
in their thinking, they're planning. It's got to be that obviously as you lose players,
Yeah.
you know, a team is going to score the one goal that they need.
I
At
think
one
most
point,
games...
one team's only going to need one goal.
Exactly, and it's not like a World Cup game where a game might not go to target score time. It's going to go to it every match. But I think most games will be decided either in that first 5 minutes or within the second 5 minutes. I don't think they'll go beyond 10 minutes very often in TST target score time. We're not going to mention too much about tactics and things, obviously, because everyone could be watching this on YouTube. You know, we're probably the most scoutable team in terms of content from this season, and all the TST coverage we've made is not necessarily other active YouTube channels entering this tournament like we are. So we've got to keep some stuff close to our chest. But let's talk about our opponents, though. We'll get to our group specifically in a minute, but we've got massive names taking part. We've got Borussia Dortmund, we've got West Ham, mine and Devs' very beloved West Ham. We've got Wolves, we've got Wrexham, we've got Club Necaxa, which is a Liga MX, Mexican professional side. We've got Hapoel Tel Aviv from Israel. We've got the ex-USA women's national team, which has got a whole plethora of women's World Cup winners in there, the only women's team taking part. We've got Como from Italy, which is Cesc Fabregas' side. They play in Serie B. He's going to be, I believe, player manager for them. And then within those teams, we have big names like Mia Hamm on the women's side, Cesc Fabregas, as I mentioned, DeMarcus Beasley and Jimmy Conrad have got their own team who are in our group, and that team is littered with ex-US men's team players.
And actors.
Yeah, all
Actors?
sorts. Yeah.
What actors?
Jimmy Conrad.
Jimmy Conrad's in Ted Lasso, exactly. Yeah, he's looking for the
I
Oscar.
don't know him. Nah, I don't know him.
Wow.
I don't know Lasso.
You've not seen Ted Lasso?
Nah, I've never seen that.
Don't say that over there, because that's like #1 show of all time over there right now.
I've watched
in America.
Hangover.
Hangover, that's also a film, yes. There's, well done. It's in Jurassic Park.
Yeah. Godzilla.
Also good, yeah. Kevin Grosskreutz is another Dortmund legend playing. I think they've got Weidenfeller in goal as well. West Ham team is all legends, like Marlon Harewood, Carlton Cole, Matt Jarvis, James Collins, to name a few. Wolves legends are the same. They've got likes of Darius Vassell playing, who scored a lot of goals for England
Vassell's
back in the day.
playing for who?
Yeah.
Playing for Wolves.
Vassell, yeah?
And they've got Lee Trundle. Do you remember Lee Trundle?
Nah, I don't know him.
Don't
I know
remember Lee
Vassell.
Trundle from Soccer AM with the neck skills and all that?
Nah,
Yeah,
I know
you do.
Stephen Island.
He's playing.
Blades and Grass, is it?
Yeah.
Blades and Grass. So
Yeah.
Stephen, Emil Heskey.
Emil Heskey's there. We've played against him before at #, actually, on a couple of occasions.
Was he good?
He won a penalty against... No, did he win the penalty or take the penalty? He won the penalty in the Wembley Cup, the third Wembley Cup against us, I think. And then we played against him in a game against Star Sixes, didn't we? A few weeks later. He came off in that game quite early, I think, injured. It's just one of them with Heskey. Obviously, amazing career. But has he kept it up? You know, and that's not a Heskey comment. That's a comment on any
All of them.
ex-pro playing
All of
it,
them.
especially the ones that are kind of into their 40s.
Well, the Wembley Cup's an example for you, isn't it? You know, you won. I mean, you played against Steven Gerrard, who'd only been out of football playing a year, 2 years, max.
yeah, he's 1 year
We're
out.
still
yeah.
in really good nick, and
Yeah,
But it's mainly
look
about
at Rooney.
mentality, I think.
Look at Rooney.
What about him?
what? Yeah, what happens if we
Is
look
it-
at him? What?
He's a pudding.
Well,
Right.
pudding's not a bad thing, are they?
Nah, it's not, but he's immobile pudding.
Well, he's not playing.
Yeah, but like that's the kind of
Because he
stuff.
can't wear a hat.
Yeah.
Like you're gonna get the ex pros that are
Like
like
get
that.
some puddings.
Yeah,
I think the main thing's about mentality. Even if someone goes there and they aren't in the best shape, if they really... Football is obviously a competitive beast. If they have that, I'm here to win, I don't care about going out and having a few drinks or any of that, I'm just there to win, there'll be a problem.
I was saying this to the boys when we were talking about, you know, I remember watching Soccer Aid and hearing right throwing elbows at people
Yeah,
because
yeah,
he
yeah.
was so angry.
Or even Jamie Carragher
Just-
against Joe
yeah,
Weller in the Wembley
yeah.
Cup. It's all about motivation if you can get motivated. If you were to design your perfect team that's going into this, which I know is a unanswerable question because we've never seen a TST before, we don't know what wins it. But what do you think would be the perfect mix? Like, is it us? Is it a team of actual players and teammates that are fit and have played together all year? Is it a blended mixture of high caliber ex-pros with youth and some active semi-pro players, because we haven't really got too many active professionals taking part in this for obvious reasons. It's their time off, or if it's not their time off, they're in a season.
Yeah.
Or they're not allowed to.
Contracts don't allow.
I think people like Fabregas are some of the only exceptions, and even then we don't know how much he's going to play. So what would you like? And you don't have to say hashtag is what the team you go for political reasons.
Kind of top tier level semi-pro would probably be the perfect
Like
mix.
like technically a Wrexham, but then they're kind
if
of
they
pro,
were playing,
aren't
they?
So we're not
and I think
miles
there's
off.
but there's going to be specialists out there, aren't there?
Yeah.
There's small-sided game specialists.
In fact, probably the only person you'd say we've got that maybe falls under that category is Jack Downer. Yeah, Street Panner, who I don't know how much. I know he's played a fair bit, but he's very used to that. It's just about whether for him and for me, I think it's about whether he has that competitive edge, because so much of what he does is about what he can physically do with the ball. But then sometimes that might be the most effective thing.
And equally, will the pitch be small enough?
Yeah,
for him, because I almost feel like the smaller the pitch, then
tighter.
It would be.
I think it's better for him the smaller the pitch.
That's what
he's saying, because it's a
That's
quite
what
big
I
one.
Yeah, listen.
Yeah, sorry.
Well, let's talk about our group, okay? Because I'm actually going to make a little predictions video, not today, but about TST, which again, it's finger in the air stuff. I don't really know what's going to happen, but I have my hunch on who I think will do well in this tournament. But let's look at our group specifically. I personally think it's one of the tougher groups. I think maybe the second or third tough group, but again, that's just based on opinion. In our group, and this is the order of the games we're playing as well, we have Natty SC, which is an abbreviation of Cincinnati. So they were a USL side. A lot of their players played for them previously, and they're only 1 or 2 years retired, or some of them still active, but not in that team anymore. They've also got a special guest who goes by the name of Chad Ochocinco, who's a very famous NFL player. They're also, like locals, if you like, American at least, so they're not got to travel, because I think that's one thing we've got to contend with, that not every team have to do.
Yeah.
We're flying in 2 days before our first game. We're going to be jet lagged a little bit. Got to try and adjust to that. We play them at midday on the 1st of June. And then about 8 hours later, we play Conrad and Beasley United, which is very interesting, because Jimmy Conrad has played a handful of times for hashtag. Very good friend of mine. DeMarcus Beasley is also a US legend. A lot of caps for the US national team. Their whole team is full of just internationally capped players. Again, I think probably average age is 5 or so years older than our team, if not more, but very high credentials. And then we have Gracie FC, which are a complete unknown. So Gracie FC is Gracie family, which is the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu family.
Jiu-Jitsu?
They basically invented the sport of Jiu-Jitsu, or the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu at least. Gregor Gracie is heading that up, but they're not the ones playing.
No.
They have recruited Brazilian footballers and American Brazilians, which is what they are, to play for them. Some of which have played for the likes of Palmeiras in Brazil or Fluminense. We're talking like top tier Brazilian football teams. So I don't think, just because their name isn't necessarily synonymous with soccer, I expect them to still be good.
They've got young players, is it?
And they've got some young players. Yeah, they're not.
Have
They're going to be Brazilian.
published like who they've signed and stuff?
Yeah, if you follow the guys on Insta, I follow all the teams on there, and they've not posted people I've heard of necessarily, but they're still, a lot of them have been professional in Brazil and America. But they've all got some sort of Brazilian link to their name, which means we're expecting an element of Yoga Benito and skill on display. I'm not going to ask you to predict how we're going to get on.
Played cage football.
Oh, he's played cage.
I played cage
humble.
football, right.
So
I'm just a brute.
He's played almost half a game against Bury away.
In 35 degrees heat, and it was humid as well. I've been doing high altitude training anyway.
Have you?
Yeah, I'm gonna bring. Oh, I forgot my mask. I'll bring it on Thursday. I've got a mask that I've been using.
Are we're not playing at altitude though, are we?
Nah, but
Just to help with the training, right?
Heat training, altitude.
And when you say you've been doing it, you mean what, you've been running up a hill?
Nah, I just
bought
walk
a mask.
around. I walk around my house.
You got a ladder. I work out upstairs.
He runs up the stairs.
I go to my attic. I go in my attic and.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think that's a tough group to get out of, guys, to be honest.
When you put it like that, yeah, it's pretty scary, isn't it?
And you think about, all these tournaments, World Cup, for example, you always say you got to try and win that first game, right? I think that's even more the case now because we have no draws.
Yeah, we can't go through with 3 draws, can we?
You basically need 2 wins, really, don't you? Yeah. You need 2 wins. I haven't done the maths on that. But it's still 3 points for a win or whatever. But if you win 2 games, I don't think you can't go through.
Do we do a parade?
There will be a world, by the way, because there's only one. There's only one world where 6 points doesn't get you out of a group, and it's if one team lost every game and everyone else beat each other, so everyone has 2 wins. So what is the decider in TST?
Oh, there's a few of them, isn't there?
It'd be goals
They've
scored.
listed them. I think it's head to head.
head to head. But again, in that
different.
condition,
It's
it
all-
doesn't matter.
yeah.
If it's a 6-6-6-0 thing. So I think then I
They've,
imagine it'll be goal
they've got them
scored.
listed. It's you should have read the rules. We sent them to you.
Yeah.
Well, let's hope it doesn't come down to that. But yeah, I mean, obviously, the nature of the beast is you either win $1 million or you don't, right? Only one team's going to do it.
Yeah.
But if we're looking at it, realistically, we've got to aim to get out the groups and then see where we end up. I think we'll all be disappointed if we don't make out the groups, just because we didn't get to see how we got on.
And we want as well for us as a new club, and a new club that's not going to go away after this. So it's not a one-off thing.
No.
It's important for us that we go out there and we kind of make friends, and we get people interested in us because we want to grow our support network, don't
I
we?
don't want to make friends out there.
Well, you haven't got to worry
I mean,
about
off
that
the
bit as
pitch.
much.
Oh yeah, you lot can make friends. I'm staying in the hotel and concentrating on the game.
With mask on at all times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sleep with my mask on, high
Upstairs.
attitude.
Get on the lift to the top
So we'll
floor.
put you on the top floor then, yeah? In
Yeah,
the penthouse.
please. You lot can put me on the top floor. Some of the boys need to be on the top floor because
Who?
then they can't jump out.
Name names.
I'm not a snitch, but some boys need to be on the top floor so they can't.
You are a snitch.
Yeah, but not on camera. I snitch on the cameras off.
Is that how it works?
Yeah,
Just write it down.
I'll just write it down here and give me one. He needs to be on the top floor because he'll go out if you don't be careful.
You reckon?
Yeah, 100%.
The camera might pick that up, by the way. I don't know if you can see that or not.
Oh, no, they-
Well, listen, it's going to be a lot of fun. I can't wait. We leave a week today. Actually, as we record this today is the final day teams can register players. Because we had the original sort of lock-off date, but today was the last day people can throw in these 3 mystery names, right?
Oh, is it today?
Yeah, it's today.
Have they announced any yet?
No,
have we heard of
their
any?
deadline won't pass until a few more hours. 'cause
So
of the time
there could
difference.
be some.
There'll be players. There'll almost certainly be some players we don't know.
There's
that are playing
definitely
yet.
been some being held back.
Yeah.
Isn't there?
Yeah,
Well, like
'cause,
big names.
We were the
Yeah,
first
I
squad
think.
to actually announce a squad by weeks. We got our squad out quite early because we had the team to pick it from already.
Yeah.
A lot of these other teams are still announcing players every day, and even that registration is only a TST, like internal registration. They might not announce their squad publicly until the tournament
Yeah.
still. So it's not like
There's
it
a
goes
chance
out.
there could be some even bigger names.
Well, think about all the sort of publicity that's happened, kept getting bigger as the tournament's got closer. So then teams that maybe haven't been able to attract a certain kind of player yet have now been able to say, well, if you come, Fabregas is going to be there, etc., etc. So it might
PK
mean more
Humble's
people
gonna
can
be
come.
there.
Yeah, PK Humble's going to be there. Like, I'll leave it then. But yeah, listen, I can't wait for it. I think it's a really amazing opportunity for us, whatever happens, to get the boys. In many ways, it's a bit of a reward for a great season's work, not just for the players that are getting to go, but other people like ourselves that associate with the club. But we need to look at it as more than that. We need to look at it as the culmination of the season. It's already had a great win, a title win, but imagine how good it would be. We talked about the modern treble, like the modern pentathlon. It's #win promotion, which we've done. West Ham win the Conference League final, which we hope will happen, and #win TST. Imagine if those 3 things happen. What a world it would be.
Doesn't count if West Ham win TST though, does it?
No, because it doesn't.
Yeah, it doesn't, does it? No.
No, West Ham don't need to win
Doesn't
TST.
work that way, does it?
Conflict of interest.
And by the way, the final of the Conference League is 3 days after the final of TST. So think about all the West Ham guys that have gone out there. They've got to then get over to Prague as well.
Yeah, hard life.
Yeah, it's not bad, is it? Not bad. Imagine from a West Ham perspective, they'll be looking to do a double of sorts, won't they? But I think winning the Conference League is probably worth a bit more than $1 million. You get in the Europa League off the back of it as well. So that West Ham
Would they claim
hopefully-
the Isthmian North as part of the modern day treble?
Well, they haven't won it. They haven't won it. We're the only ones that have won it.
But we wouldn't have won the Conference League.
No, but this is my
Oh, your
pentathlon.
one.
This
Right,
is what I
yeah.
want. What happened for me as a man. With that in mind, apart from the 3 teams in our group, is there anyone you would love to face out there in the knockouts, or love to not face?
No, I think it'd be exciting to face
Says
any of them.
Fabregas.
I think
that would, someone like
I think Como would be great. I think Wrexham would be really
Wrexham
fun,
would
like
be
West Ham
fantastic.
Wrexham. Wrexham match.
the US women's team, like the World Cup winners, Olympic gold.
They're all in the same group. Those 3 teams.
like, just
So only 2 of them getting out.
some icons of women's football.
That's a stacked group. That you've got Wrexham, you've got the US women's national team, Como, and Say Word in the same group. And in the West Ham's group, you've got Castro's side, obviously big FIFA streamer, Castro, good friend of the club.
He was at one of our games recently.
He was at one of our games. He
Didn't
came and
realise
supported us.
what we didn't know at the time was he was on the secret scouting mission.
Yeah, exactly. Well, he actually did tell me, to be fair, but it was the Sudbury game, I think, wasn't it? Was it the game before that?
Oh,
It was one of the big, I think it was Sudbury, yeah. So he was there for that. And then his team's called Dallas United. So they're playing West Ham. That's very cool. I don't know this for sure, but I was looking at the way the brackets and things work, and if it's done the same way the World Cup's done, i.e., winners of Group A play winners of Group whatever, then if we win our group, we play a team from the Wrexham Como group. That's what if it's done the same way. So if we win our group, I think we play second from that group. If we come second in our group, we play the winner of that group. So unless I'm wrong about that, there's a good chance if we get out, we face a Wrexham or West Ham.
So it could be like the gang play hashtag.
Not West Ham. I keep saying West Ham. Wrexham. Or Como. Wrexham or Como. Yeah. Or the gang play hashtag would be great.
Hashtag.
Do you watch that show?
Yeah, what a show.
I went to see the podcast live.
Did
It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Nah.
Did you?
Yeah, I went to see it in Dublin. It was fantastic. I hope Rob and Ryan will be there.
I'm hoping they bring the gang.
Yeah, Charlie down there. Danny DeVito.
The tailgate.
If you don't know what we're talking about, It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. Hilarious show. And obviously Rob McElhenney is the co-owner of Wrexham. He's the creator of that show.
And watch Untagged.
Final thoughts for TST, PK. Excited?
Get me on the plane. Get me on the plane right now. Right now, I'm ready.
You ready?
I'm gonna sleep. I don't know if I should sleep on the plane because obviously I need to get the timing right because I don't get jet. So I don't get jet.
We're getting up early that day, right?
6:45.
That's the flight.
That's what time you got to be there.
That's the flight.
Pardon me?
Now, what time is the flight?
No, the flight's about 8:45.
Okay, so we've got to be at the airport.
6:45.
So you're getting up at what time?
6.
You're not.
Good luck. Go get the Heathrow. I think we're going to be getting up
That's why you're always late
4 or
for
5
games.
a.m. that day. And then, so I'll think you should try and grab some sleep on the plane if you can, but then sort ourselves out that
And
night.
stay up before.
Well, if you get a bit of sleep on the plane, it will make up for the sleep you've probably lost that night because you would have got up early.
Yeah.
And then power through, have an early night when you get in there, maybe.
What time do we arrive there?
I think we land in the early afternoon, don't we? Because of the...
Yeah, so I should sleep the whole plane journey. And then, I'm going to stay up from the night before.
We'll see. We'll work it out.
You better sleep. First class is comfortable.
Oh, well, first class, yeah?
You're not in first class.
Oh, what? I thought everyone was first class.
You're all first class in my eyes.
What?
But
is it
very
just-
much economy.
Is it just staff?
The club paying for it, mate. So unfortunately, it's no one. Devs,
Yeah.
any part of you wish you were playing in this? And I don't mean necessarily you as a
Not now.
as a
but
now.
I would
but yeah.
love to have played in it. What are you laughing at?
Because I've seen you strike the ball.
No, but the thing is, Devs, you were as a player very much.
I'm still striking better than you do.
You were very much of the level that you said would probably be the optimum level for this tournament, maybe a level below that. But as a player, you were kind of in the same sort of leagues that Hashtag are now in, weren't you? Yeah. So you would have probably been
I would have taken his
taken
place.
PK's spot, yeah.
No, but at that time, in 1966, people were playing on
Winning
tarmac.
World Cups though, weren't they?
Yeah.
You know, Devs was on the provisional list for the 1966 World Cup.
Is it?
Just didn't
With
make
Bobby
it.
Charlton?
Is it?
Yeah.
Were you?
No, I'm just surprised.
I mean, he wasn't born for another 17 years after that, but yeah.
You was born after 1966.
He was born in the 80s, mate.
I thought he was.
What's
I thought he was
that?
BC.
Like that.
I thought he was
Weren't
BC.
you? Oh, no, you weren't born in the 80s. No, 76.
Yes.
Yeah, I remember your Twitter name, yeah.
76.
You were born 10 years after 1966.
Yeah.
Okay.
So how did you watch it then?
On
DVD.
VHS.
Okay. Tonight, we have our last training session before we go to TST. And then a week today, we're going to be on the plane. Wish us luck, guys. We'll see you out there. Lots more content from the ground, behind the scenes stuff, as well as the live streams of the game on this channel. If you're based in the States, you can watch the whole tournament play out on Peacock, which is very cool. There's a deal with Peacock. Also, there'll be other games on the Goal YouTube channel, but make sure you subscribe to Hashtag to see our matches live and then the highlights we put out after that at a later date. Let me know in the comments below how far you think Hashtag United are going to go. Could we win $1 million?
Come and see us if you're there.
Yes, come and see us as well. We're going to try and do a meet and greet in Cary, North Carolina during the tournament or just before the tournament. So stay tuned to our socials for details on that. But if you do come and you're lucky enough to get tickets, we'll be able to meet some of you in person. And PK will actually, what will you do for them? Give them a
He'll
nice
behave
hug?
himself.
I'll give them a hug.
Okay, that's a guarantee. PK hug.
Guarantee hugs.
make
At $5 a hug though.
That's fair. $10 for Devs, 5 for PK. But thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you in North Carolina. Until next time, up the tags.